We are all familiar with the legend of how people arrived in the Americas for the first time around 14,000 years ago, right? Our ancestors crossed the Bering Strait land bridge when Siberia and North America were connected during the last ice age. After surviving harsh conditions and saber-toothed tiger attacks, they eventually developed into sophisticated civilizations like the Mayan and the Incas, which remained isolated from the rest of the world until Christopher Columbus arrived in the Caribbean in 1492. What if, though, this is not the entire tale? It's a rumor, shady mummies. It's important to note that most of what we'll be discussing today is conjecture. Conjecture can be entertaining and educational, but it must be done correctly, and we'll give you all the facts. The ancient Egyptian civilization can only be described as liminal space where the mind and the soul are imprisoned in a science fiction novel or a charming fable full of eternal mysteries and celestial marvels. Some of history's greatest mysteries, which continue to this day to confound conceptions of reason and reality, lie beneath the mythical sands of Egypt. Egypt has been the focus of innumerable historians and archaeologists for the past 2 centuries, making it one of the most studied ancient civilizations. Every time an archaeological find is made at Egypt's mystifying tourist destinations like Luxor and Aswan, a new set of riddles and unresolved questions arise. Their culture and technology are a gift that keeps on giving. Researchers have been searching for the key to the civilization's immortality for the last 1,000 years across vast deserts, employing modern science and artifacts like the Rosetta Stone, some of which were able to provide explanations and solutions, but others remain a mystery. Number 1, the mystery of Queen Nefertiti's disappearance. The most powerful lady in Egypt was Queen Nefertiti, whose fame is absolutely legendary. She established her reputation as King Tutankhamun's stepmother and the wife of Egyptian pharaoh Akhenaten. Her tomb has never been discovered despite her illustrious name and status. Her ancestries can be found in the Mitanni dynasty of northern Syria, and she had the distinction of being the most beautiful woman in ancient Egypt. She is thought to have changed her name and left her husband, who tried to replace the prevalent polytheistic system with a monotheistic one. There is no reference to her passing in Egyptian history in any way. Some people think that after her husband's 12th year of rule, her name was erased from the records, while others think she assumed a new pharaonic title or was never a pharaoh in the first place. A sculpture that is housed in the Berlin Museum and was discovered in 1913 quickly gained popularity, making Nefertiti a household name. Nefertiti wasn't as significant as people think, according to others, which explains why we don't know what happened to her. What happened to her is still a mystery, regardless of whether everything described is real or made up. Second, the mysterious mummy wrapped in a foreign book. When a man by the name of Maheshlo Barak purchased a mummy from an Alexandrian merchant in 1848, he acquired one of the most enigmatic items ever discovered in Egypt. After a few years, he recognized how unusual this artifact was and removed it from the display where he had placed it as a decoration. The linen book that the mummy was wrapped in had weird handwriting on it. It was discovered by the experts after carefully removing her bandages that it was not written in Egyptian, but rather in Etruscan, an ancient language used by the ancient civilization that is now known as Italy. Although the texts were not entirely deciphered, it was determined that they were dated and involved gods in an ancient Etruscan burial ritual. The mummified woman known as Nisi Hensu is thought to have avoided the Roman invasion of Egypt. Many researchers have pondered the origins of this mummy, but these problems have not yet been resolved. Next is the mysterious Egyptian queen. In 2005, some archaeologists discovered a woman's tomb buried inside one of the ancient kingdom's Great Pyramids, circa 2575 to 2157 BC. Her tomb was marked with inscriptions referring to her as the king's mother and wife. About 4,500 years ago, she appeared to have been one of the most significant women in ancient Egypt. No one has the faintest idea who she is, despite the fact that it is claimed that she had greater influence and respect than any other lady in the country at that time. She is sometimes referred to as Kintakawis III, who thinks she is the daughter of Kintakwatis II. Some speculate that she was the mother of King Mekher and possible spouse of King Neferferer. There are no references to her in anything we found, and if her name was Kintakwatis III, her existence and identity are still mysteries. Another is King Tut's mysterious death. Due to the prominence that King Tutankhamun had always had since his discovery in the Valley of the Kings in 1922, the death of the boy King Tut is the most well-known mystery involving ancient Egypt. His death is a complete mystery because there are numerous factors that could have been contributed to it and raised questions. King Tut had malaria in addition to numerous genetic defects brought on by potential incest. He was supposed to pass away at a young age because of a club foot and a few other genetic flaws. He passed away around 1323 BC at the age of 19, yet there are various legends about his passing. It is thought that his head was injured during the embalming process, which raised the suspicion that he was murdered. His mummies revealed that he had a cracked skull, leading to some suspect that he had been stabbed in the head. According to researchers, he shattered his knee just before he passed away, indicating that he was murdered in a chariot accident, which is an odd choice for someone with multiple deformities. Which theory is correct and which is wrong when it comes to the innumerable ideas that would explain how he died or was killed? Another one is the mystery of the lost land of Punt. There are numerous references to the region known as the land of Punt in texts of ancient Egypt. It was the ancient African empire with gold, ivory, and fantastical beasts. Punt was highly revered by the ancient Egyptians, who called it God's land because of its reputation as being incredibly strong economically and as having great power. The sole Punt artifact we possess comes from what the Egyptians preserved. Many scientists were eager to discover the location of the kingdom. Scientists examined the mummified remains of 2 baboons to determine if they originated in present-day Eritrea or eastern Ethiopia. Will anyone ever be able to identify the actual location of the land of Punt, which has been one of history's greatest mysteries? Next is the mystery of the Great Pyramid's hidden chamber. For 4,500 years, the Great Pyramid of Khufu has been considered a world wonder. It was a huge construction that required more than 2.3 million stone blocks and was close to 150 meters, 490 feet tall. Although there are 3 rooms inside, a team of researchers was able to thoroughly scan the pyramid in 2017 and discovered evidence of a big hidden chamber that was as large as the pyramid's largest room. The first civilizations were able to purposefully create a secret room that was completely inaccessible. There aren't any passageways or corridors that link to it in any way. It is still unknown what is on the other side of the pyramid. Next is the mystery of the Great Sphinx of Giza. Despite the fact that Egypt is home of some of the most magnificent structures in the world, the enormous Sphinx of Giza stands alone. It is one of the world's largest antiquities, almost 70 meters long and standing over 20 meters tall, and it dates back to an ancient dynasty. The Sphinx has been long shrouded in mystery because it is thought that it was built to serve as the pharaoh's chief protector after they were buried. However, evidence of water erosion on the statue suggesting that the ancient Egyptian civilization may be much older. The Sphinx is the oldest conundrum in the world since no one knows for sure who created it or why, and whether we'll ever find out is still a mystery. Many other mysteries are stumbled upon in several ways, of which the vast majority are put out on the internet. It is crucial to rely on reliable sources when assessing these claims. These require a level of attention to detail and more research. Pending when more findings occur, we would like to hear your thoughts in the comment sections below.